Alrighty, hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, I am Cryptic Coil, and in today's video I am going to basically just kind of show off my new guitar. I just picked this up like maybe a week ago from a used music store here in town, and I just want to show you what it is. So this is actually an ESP LTD M-200FM. I guess it's a 2009 model. Let me show you what it looks like. Yeah, so you can see that right there. It says M200FM. I don't know what they call this paint job, but it's a red paint job. It's what do they call it? Where you can kind of see the wood grain through. But it's a neck through guitar. Yeah, so I don't know if you can see that, but there's the arrowhead inlays, which I think are really cool. Um, it's got a reverse headstock, which I love. I used to hate when I was young, but now that I'm older and I realize that the reverse headstock is like really an 80s thing. I mean, everybody had one. Metallica used to play them. I'm not the biggest Metallica fan in the world. I mean, I like them a lot, but not their biggest fan. George Lynch, when he played his aria, he had one. I mean, this is really cool. I mean, check out the binding on the sides. I mean, on the fretboard, on the neck, look at that binding. Now, I came outside to show you this video because the lighting is just superior to what it would be in my apartment. With those ESP tuning pegs. I mean, this is pretty cool. Oh, let me show you those are ESP stock pickups. They sound pretty good. I can't show you them right now because I live in an apartment and I just can't blast an amp, but they sound pretty good. I play I play through my headphones because I live in an apartment, but I mean, I've heard these a couple times and they sound pretty good to me. I mean, it's a 24 fret guitar. Look at that Floyd. So the Floyd is actually a Floyd Rose Special. Let me see if my phone will pick that up. Okay, so yeah, you can see that on the side, Floyd Rose Special. This Floyd Rose Special is actually legit. I know I look the part. Like, you would probably think that like I were super good. I mean, like, you know, with my hair and my style, I mean, you'd probably think like, oh yeah, you know, you're a real shredder. I'm trash. I know I'm trash. I don't have any talent. I just have a lot of passion, and that's what got me to where I'm at. You know, but yeah, I mean, I play for myself. I play for fun. I mean, you know. Yeah, I mean, I just play for fun, but I like this guitar a lot. Like I said, I mean, it's a 2009 ESP LTD M200FM. I bought it from a used music store. I only paid they were charging $299.99 plus tax. So in the end, I paid about uh, $323 and some change. Not bad. I'm not really the biggest fan of neck through guitars. I kind of hate them. I'm chewing tobacco. Give me a sec. Let me take a spit real quick. Yeah, I'm just not really the biggest fan of neck through guitars because they can be really hard to take care of, and if you don't watch the neck and you let the neck kind of get bent or whatever because you travel or for any reason the humidity changes or whatever, you can really damage the neck on these neck throughs. And with bolt-ons, I mean, you can always, change the neck if something goes wrong. But on a guitar like this, I mean, it's not really that easy of a fix. I know somebody who had that happen once. They bought a Jackson guitar. It was a neck through. It happened somewhere in the Southwest where there was dry desert heat. And then they moved to LA to try to make it big in the 80s, and they didn't know anything about taking care of guitars. And so the neck warped, and they could never fix it. So now that person, I mean, it's a 40-year-old guitar, but this person has to dedicate that guitar to be their D guitar. So they play in drop D. It's the only way they can get it to play right, and this person doesn't really play in D. But whenever they do D stuff, I mean, that's the guitar they use, but they'll never be able to play in E or standard. So that's kind of why I'm not really the biggest fan of neck throughs. But owning this guitar, one thing that I learned is that neck throughs have better sustain than bolt-ons. So that was interesting. I haven't decided whether or not I'm gonna keep the pickups. If it were up to me, I would trade them in for Seymour Duncan Black Winters. I don't know if I'm gonna do that. This is the only guitar in my guitar collection that has active pickups. But I think I might keep them just for that. I guess I could trade them for EMGs, but I'm not going to. I'm just having a little bit of fun. The binding on this guitar, right here, kind of where it meets, you can't really see it, but the binding is kind of aging, turning yellow, but then kind of up towards the headstock, it's like all nice and white and clean and pristine. I'm not really mad at the fact that the binding is aging at all. One thing that I'm mad at is that I'm not exactly in love with the paint job. I mean, I do think she's gorgeous, don't get me wrong. She is. But if it were up to me, I'd find somebody like maybe, Mark Murray from Guitar Guts who could sand it down and repaint it. I'd probably keep the Floyd Rose Special on it because I know that it stays in tune when really my buddy was trying to make it go out of tune and it didn't. So I don't really know too much about the Floyd Roses and everything. I watching like the Guitar Guts channel. I mean, I'm starting to get into like modifying my guitar collection. Like I have a couple of guitars that I want to send in to get worked on by him, and I'm going to. There's going to be future episodes of Guitar Guts where he works on my guitars. But this one right here, I'm just worried because I really like the binding and I don't want to sand it down and kind of ruin the binding because it's a neck through guitar. So if it was a bolt-on, you could just take off the neck, but because it's neck through, you have to sand the whole thing down, and then you can't protect the neck the same way because when it comes time to paint the headstock, the same way you paint the body, you could just, throw some painter's tape on around here, sand it down, repaint the body, but how do you protect the binding all throughout the neck? Not just the headstock, all throughout the neck. If I could, there is a paint job that I have in mind. On Guitar Guts, Mark, he painted this ESP LTD guitar, and it had it wasn't an HH, a double humbucker, it was an HSH, so it had a humbucker, single coil, and neck humbucker, and he painted it like his childhood stuffed animal, that lizard plush that he had, and he called that his lizard skin ESP. And it was kind of green, and it had a burst to orange, and then he sprayed some crackle paint all over it, and it was his lizard skin guitar. I would like to do something like that, because my younger brother passed away 8 years ago or something like that. Yeah, I think it was 8 years ago at this point. And he was born in the year 1988, which is the year of the dragon. And so what I would like to do is kind of do like a dark green around here, and then maybe do like a yellow or a gold right here, and then spray the crackle paint to kind of give it that reptile skin effect, kind of like a dragon, because 1988 is the Chinese zodiac year of the dragon. And then throw some red blood splatter along it and call it dragon's blood, and just kind of like as a tribute to my younger brother. And then if I could do some of that on the neck, or all throughout the neck and the headstock too. But just I don't know if you can do that really with these neck through guitars without messing up the binding, because one of the reasons I bought this guitar was for the binding. But if I could do that, in homage to my late younger brother, I would. He'd dig it. He would have wanted it for himself. He was a lefty. And if he were still alive, I'd pay to have something like that made for him now. But he's not around, so I could just do that for him. It would mean a lot to my parents. But yeah, so this is my ESP LTD M-200FM. It's the first functional ESP LTD that I own. I have a couple others. The other two that I have, one of them is like an M100FM, so it's kind of the model. It's a downgrade from this. This is better. And then I have the M201, I think, or MH201. It's a bolt-on guitar. I have that, and I want to send both into the Guitar Guts channel and have him make them up for me. And he and I have already talked via email. We're going to do a trade. So that'll be something that happens in the near future, actually. Near future. But yeah, I just wanted to show off this guitar. So I got this like a week ago. And I also bought a Jackson bass guitar from Goodwill, of all places. I was like, whoa. Like I saw a guitar and then I grabbed it. Oh, it's a bass, but it's a Jackson. So, yeah, that was cool. But anyway, this video is like almost 15 minutes long, and I just wanted to show it off. I can't really play it for you because I live in an apartment. I don't want to make all kinds of noise for my neighbors. But yeah, and now if you have one of these things that comes with a Floyd Rose special, my Floyd Rose special is legit. I don't have any plans to swap it out for like a Schaller or a Goto or anything like that. Ideally, if I could have it repainted, maybe get rid of the ESP tuning pegs, get some locking tuning pegs. If I could, I would. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Trying to fix it. Okay. If I could, I would get rid of the volume knob, put a kill switch, transfer the volume knob to the tone knob, and just not even use the tone knob. I want to do that to all my guitars. Because some people, including John Petrucci from Dream Theater, I don't have this problem, but some people do. It's like when they pick, their fingers always hit the volume knob. So why not transfer the volume knob down here to the tone knob, get rid of the tone knob, and then just put a kill switch here. So that's something that I would like to do with this guitar, even if I don't ever like sand it down and repaint it. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for checking out my guitar. While I have some daylight left, I'll show off my new bass guitar too. Okay, later.